Welcome back to the Sundays with Wendy podcast, Monica Rao.
Thank you, Wendy, for having me again.
We did a podcast just last week, and after we stopped recording, we felt strongly that we should do one more. This idea of channeling to me is fascinating, but it's coming up more and more in my day-to-day conversations. And we just felt like let's pop on and just talk a little bit about what is channeling, how you experience it. I can talk a little bit about how I experience, how I see it in others, but just to give people like a broader sense of what even channeling is.
Yeah, it's a great question and one that is in the minds of so many people these days. Channeling is something, believe it or not, something that we've all been doing at some point in our lives, even if you have not been aware of it. For example, if you're talking with a friend that you're very close to, mm, and that person's in a difficult condition, difficult state, and is seeking some support from you, and you're in that moment and you've just surrendered, you've let go, and you get a wave of inspiration that pops in. And then you share that with your friend. And that's that aha moment for that friend. And he or she will be like, wow, that's exactly what I needed to hear to move forward. I started off with this story specifically because the basic element that we need in channeling, and if anybody in this audience is seeking in this direction, wanting to do this. Love is the baseline and something we touched upon in the last episode as well, last week. How we connect with that loving energy that is very much part of everybody's life. We are it. We can't receive it or we can't give it. We just are it. The sooner we recognize that, the better it is for us. So, channeling is something we've all been doing for eons. If you're an artist, if you've been painting, you're channeling already. If you're a musician and you sing, you're channeling. If you're a poet and you write poetry or you create lyrics, if you're a songwriter, you're already channeling. So channeling is nothing scary. It's something that is innate. We already have that ability. And the best way I feel one can really get into that space is by letting go, really letting go. So I'll share a little bit if it's okay about my own experience in channeling. So I did mention before that 2010 I had a clinical death where my physical body died in a hospital bed, um, and I was sent into the light and had a mystical experience there. By that time, there was no diagnosis, but came back in the body. Then there was one. And when I returned home, I was put in a bubble through my recovery period. Immediately, I became this channel. At that time, I did not know what that meant. I just knew that something was happening to me that was very different from the kind of life I had had before. And when I was in my space by myself, all alone, no interactions from anybody other than my own immediate family members, I spent a lot of time switching off, where the mind was not engaged, even though I was sick and not okay as per what the doctors had sensed in me. After a point in time, my mind just shut down. And the thinking processes sort of almost like they melted away, the active thinking processes. And I figured out that something was happening in my life that was very, very different. And I started feeling sensations in my body that I'd not never felt before, like tingling sensations and vibrations. And suddenly my body would become so hot. And the funny story is that my illness, I had high fever, body's temperature had gone so high, 106 degrees fever. And when I came back in my body and recovering, that same heat would come in my body. And I remember a few times I went to my husband, I said, can you tell me, do I have a fever? So my body is just heating up. That is one of the symptoms of this illness. And he would put the thermometer under my armpit or in my mouth and he'd say, no, nothing at all. And it left me baffled. And then I had once a doctor coming home and checked me out too. And she said, no, you're fine. There's, there's no, you don't have any fever. That's not a problem. I did not know back then, Wendy, that that was what was happening. Is that's how the channeling process began. And I started becoming a conduit for first myself and knowing about why I got sick, but also as later I started seeing other people. My husband's job is such that I'm out and about with lots and lots of people at any given time. And I would just be around in their spaces and feel things about them that I shouldn't know, that I couldn't know, random people. And I didn't know what this was. I thought this was something that everybody was experiencing. Although I had not experienced that in my previous life before my dying. So that's how all it began. And I'd go out in front of lots of people and I would just get these you know, the messages that will come to me, and I'm thinking, why am I understanding that this person has a liver dysfunction, or why am I understanding that this person has a acute pain in her or his right knee or left femur or things like that, and it started coming to me as in health context. Anything to do with emotional health, mental health, spiritual health, physical health, like that. And I couldn't make sense of it. And I didn't try. Every time I tried to make sense of it, the energies would tell me. Again, I didn't know what these energies were, but I would get these messages that said, don't worry about all of this. This is just coming to you for a reason. Just see it, feel it, let it go. It's not affecting you. Just let it go. It's like Snapchat. It's coming through your body and leaving. So that's how my journey in channeling began, completely as if it just fell on my lap. I wasn't seeking it. I didn't want to do it. But I guess your question is, how would they know that they are channeling? Okay. So how would they know that they're channeling is that they would know if they're channeling when all of a sudden an inspiration comes along and suddenly their voice softens. Sometimes the voice can soften. Sometimes the voice can speed up. It depends on how in tune are you with the energy. Okay, now when everybody's listening, you're wondering, what is this energy? It's mysterious. It sounds so enigmatic. What is this energy? Well, we all have access to not just our higher self, but our soul as well. We are already connected to it, even if we've never ever known about it. Just because we don't know about it doesn't mean does not exist. It exists. It's there. And so when I work with clients, I'm always guiding them into this place where their mind is shutting down. That's why sometimes you notice, Wendy, that they're softening. They're softening because the active mind, that mind that captivates you, softens. Literally, those thoughts have to simply move away. We don't stop them, because if we stop them, it's going to come back and haunt us. So we watch them, we observe them like we did last session, and we just observe them enough, just let it go. So the more we do that, the more letting go happens, the more we shift from mind into heart. And from here, this is a place we want to always be if we want to really, really connect and sink in to the higher aspects of us. What does that mean, higher aspects of us? Simply, in simple parlance, it means we are connecting to higher vibrations. So, for example, if you felt down, and we all do, we all feel down from time to time. We feel negative from time to time. We feel disheveled. We feel out of sync. All of us do at some point in our lives, right? But those that stay in it for a very long duration, long time, they will find it very hard to be in that higher vibratory frequency, the higher vibration. So another way that you know you're channeling without actually doing it is when you are in a stream of consciousness. And we've all done this, everybody, no matter who you are. Even if you have been through a difficult life experience or trauma, you've experienced trauma in your life, everybody can speak through that stream if you allow yourself to do so. So you're already channeling. Everybody's channeling already through art, through music, through any creative pursuit. Anything that is creative, you're definitely channeling. You're a writer, you're a musician, you're a dancer, you're whatever. You're in that moment when you lose track of time. when you're so engrossed in something and you don't worry about what someone is thinking about you, not worried about what someone's thinking about you or how you are being viewed by somebody else, all those inhibitions have to just be freed from you. And then you know that you're in that zone. And that's the zone that we always want to be in when we are in that channeling state.
Yeah. I've experienced, being with, close friends or colleagues, like, like you mentioned, the person just maybe their eyes shift, maybe their eyes look up, but they
Mhm.
just soften. Their mouth softens, but they're just different, and they'll just say a sentence or a word sometimes that
Mhm.
maybe I needed to hear, and then they kind of come back, but it's very quick, and again, it's just soft and pure.
It's pure. Yeah.
So I really take notice, when that happens, what message or what word or what needed to come through because they
Yes.
were just serving as a channel.
Yeah, we're serving as a channel all the time. And we are, even in the healing mode and right from way, 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 way back, long ago in the ancient times, even. We served as each other's mirrors. We were that for each other. We served as healers for one another way before allopathic medicine came along. This is how humanity did things. We were already in tune with this higher energy. We were communicating telepathically. I've done that with close friends, even to clients and others. Somehow these messages kind of go through this invisible portal.
Mhm,
We're doing it all the time. It's, for example, when you are, or anybody who's listening, there are times when you think about somebody, right? And that person calls you, or that person sends you a text message, or invites you over something. You're thinking about that person. That's a form of channeling too, because you're syncing it with something
mhm,
that is greater than you. There's an energy that is greater than all of us. Whatever our value systems might be, whatever our faith might be, it exists. There's no denying. There absolutely exists something there. And so I think we all are doing it in some regard or some way or the other. And the sooner we recognize that, the more we'll be, the more we'll feel like we want to go into it deeper.
mhm,
And so, someone asked me recently, Monica, why channel? Why should we channel? I mean, I want to, but why should I be doing that?
mhm,
What does it do for me? Or what does it do for those that I love or those that love me? How can it help me? But it helps you in multitude ways. Ever since this ability opened up in me, we all have it, so it has to just open up, right? Ever since this opened up, my ability to connect, have deeper relationships with people has heightened. That's the first thing. If you are having a hard time communicating with people, that communication will deepen the minute you become more attuned to those higher energies because you'll constantly receive messages. If someone's feeling upset at you, before they can even express to you verbally that he or she is upset at you, you'll feel it, you'll sense it, you'll know something's off. When you know something is off, the message will come to you and say this.
mhm.
Say this, and it will lead in the right direction. It will be for your highest good and the good of others. It's always a win win for everybody. We talked about this previous session. If you can look at life as in everything in life is not just how it could benefit me, but how it can benefit everybody, right? So if we can start off the morning with how can I make life amazing, you know, for everybody? It's going to work for me too, but we hold everybody there. And it's not that we're putting pressure on us that we have to go in and fix everybody's problems. We're not saying that. Even just within ourselves, that need or that draw for us to do, or in my case, it's always been about being of service to
Yeah.
mankind. I remember from the time I was a kid, I always had this deep yearning, deep, deep, deep yearning. How could I help somebody? I want to really be that conduit to help somebody.
I love that, and I love that what you're saying is we all can do this, and over the years, I have deepened my meditation, and one of the things I say before I come out is, "Open my soul to the gentle whispers for the greatest benefit of all."
Yes.
And years ago at work, I'm aging myself now, but when we had telephones and it would read the number or the name of the person coming through so I could look down and I could see it was, so and so client, and I would already know why they're calling. I would already
Yeah.
know that they were getting a divorce. They wanted guidance on buying assets. They were selling their business. Just came and I didn't really question it, but now I can articulate it. But what it did is really sped up the process of helping them.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
25-minute conversation down to 2, and then we could get to work. And so back then I just thought everyone got information that way.
And I think we do.
It allows all of our gifts and the things that we're here to do to open up.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly right. Yes, to open up. And now more than ever, there seems to be an urgency. There's something happening in our earth. I just know it. And I felt it literally prior to COVID, 3 years before COVID actually happened. I remember I came out of a deep meditation that I was doing. It was for myself, it was not really meant to do anything. I call it meditation, but it's really a channel session. And I do this typically very early in the morning. And this one was kind of later in the morning. And I was connecting to the energies. And I got a very specific message that said, the world, the entire earth, our planet is ready for a big upgrade. Something's happening. And I knew that something was, going to happen where the entire world was going to come together in ways that it hadn't, in at least in our lifetime, that we hadn't felt this. And then comes this pandemic where we are all sort of in that space together, all of humanity sort of dealing with something. And then I remember when I mentioned this to my husband back then, he came to me and he said, when COVID actually did hit. He said, "Did you know about COVID?" And I obviously did not know that, but I knew something would happen, just what it would be. But that's one idea. That's one understanding of what happens when we are tapped into higher energies. And what happens when I'm living life day to day is that I'm already in that space. I wake up in the morning, I channel in the morning, and I'm already in that space. And then I'm feeling the energies of the clients that I'm seeing, all of the clients I'm seeing that particular day, or any meeting I'm having outside of this work, any meeting I'm having elsewhere, almost like you're already connected to it. So
Mhm.
there's an invisible thread that ties us to these energies. They're already there. But the minute we become aware of it and then we raise our vibrations. So simple way, how do we raise vibrations? We talked about it a little bit earlier. It's about, if you feel down, if you're feeling a little bit disheartened or life is not moving exactly in the ways that we want it to move, but we want so much for it to move in the right ways. One quick way that I feel always helps is by letting go. And you've heard this is like a broken record, I know. Letting go and trusting, having faith, trusting in something that is beyond us. We all know that we are very powerful, and we are to a degree, but there's so much more that is far greater than what a human can do. We can do it better when we connect to the divine energy. The divine energy is, fused in with us. I think that movement forward is far more powerful than just something we would do from our mind. The mind is leading us in a direction which can be very short term and short sighted because what it sees is only what has happened in the past or the future. So it's a very limited viewpoint. So what I feel is that when we let go of the hold that the mind has on us, and we let go of that hold, and we dip into the heart, that heart is expansive. And where we want to be is into this expanded state of consciousness, altered state of consciousness, where we are not focused on how the mind is leading us all the time and how the world appears to us. It's our perception. Once we recognize that we're only perceiving it, how we perceive things can be a little off, may not be exactly what the truth. Once we are seeking the truth will come to us. But for the mind to recognize that what it's sending to us is not the truth, it's a rude awakening for the mind. The mind does not like that. The
Mhm.
mind wants to always hold us in a state of bondage all the time, wants us to keep staying in that space, creating fear and anxiety for us. But the minute we can really dissociate from that and shift away from that and dip into the heart, through the heart, the channeling comes so much faster, so much easier, because then you're already connected to the divine. The divine has a quick access. You have a quick access to it. And it works easily. And then you feel more like you're in the flow all the time. And being in the flow doesn't necessarily mean that everything will work out just perfectly, that you won't have any challenges or tribulations. No. What it means is that you might have challenges, you might have to face ups and downs in your life, but through that, you don't dip down nose diving. You'll be able to float and you will see the beauty in every situation. You will see the silver lining in that dark cloud. And if we can tap into that silver lining every single time, the easier it becomes to sink in and connect.
And I experience the more I am in a channeled state or the more I'm in the flow, that I don't feel bored. I don't feel woe is me. I don't dread much at all.
Yeah.
And it makes life more fun
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
think that, wow, I have something I can play with. Information's coming. And then you really see how it is positively affecting yourself and others around you. And so you can't go back. I mean, that's the thing. There's no going back.
There's no going back. Once you're in it to win it. You're in it. You're definitely in it. And right, exactly what you said. And, being more sort of trusting.
Hmm.
Being more trusting is so important. Being more in the flow, being more trusting, being more joyous, living life in a joyful state, exploring your childlike aspect of you that many people grow up too fast, I think, right? Because we've got to rush through life. But what a pleasure it is to sort of tap into that childlike state. And through which I found that the channeling comes much easier is when we are more playful with our spouse, with our friends, with our coworkers, with just being lighthearted about life
Hmm.
and having fun, just as you said, having fun and not getting bogged down by all the challenges that we're faced with. We're all faced with challenges all the time. So we can choose to be stuck in that rut or choose to explore life and have fun with it.
I was on a board meeting this morning and we were waiting for some people to come on, and somehow the topic was coming up about music, and they asked about a song. So I pulled up my Spotify playlist and I said, "Is this appropriate?" And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And just because you're in a board meeting doesn't mean it has to be stiff. I mean, we're going to get everything done. Actually, we got off
Yeah.
early. It just lightened, I think, the mood of everyone.
Totally. Yes. Just because you're in a board meeting, you don't have to be bored. Yeah. There are so many reasons why one should be channeling, why we should be doing this all the time. And when we do it in small situations, then bigger ones, the more you do it, the easier it gets. It's all about practice. It's about diving into it, like just falling into it, trusting it. Sometimes I get asked this question, Monica, you've convinced me that I should be channeling. You've convinced me that I am channeling. You're convincing me that why I should be doing this more regularly. Okay, I get it. How do I know now if what I'm receiving is coming from my mind or coming from my heart? And we talked about this a little bit last episode, but the best way to know what you're receiving is coming from the right source. Is that you just have to trust it.
Hmm.
Simple as that. It is not difficult. You just have to shut the mind and tell the mind to go for a walk, put it in its rightful place and fall into the heart. And then you don't have those questions coming up as much. You'll simply be able to trust it. Even if it sounds completely illogical, that's the first way you know that's the right thing, is because it never is on the line of logic. It will never make sense. It will make no sense when you're saying it. I'll give you an example of a time when I was channeling with a client. I do this all the time, but this one particular time I remember this woman came and I didn't know her at all, but she came and she sat in front of me and she was wearing a beautiful ring. You notice her ring, right? You notice a ring on the left hand, ring finger, simple means she's married. So she comes and sits in front of me, and I go into this channel state, right? In the meditative experience, I can channel when I'm fully awake and wide awake like this, or I can also channel when I'm in a meditative trance state. And this time when I was connecting with her in the meditative trance, and I opened my eyes at the end after an hour or so, I opened my eyes and looked at her. She was teary eyed. And I asked her, I said, what happened? Because I don't remember. When I'm in a trance state, I don't remember at that time until they tell me about it. And clients will write me long letters oftentimes. And so she opened her eyes and she looked at me and she said, I am just stunned how you would know this. And I said, what did I say? And she said, you said that I was not married. And I said, oh, because my logical mind would say, well, if you're looking at a ring in someone's finger, she should
Mhm,
be married, right? But that's why I said it's so illogical.
mhm,
It won't go in the line of logic. It's completely out of that box, right? And she said to me later, she said, I won't go into details because I don't want to violate any confidentiality here. But basically, what happened at the end of that situation was something she had not done in her life. She had not articulated something that had happened to her that we were able to tap into and tell her about in the channel state and the trans state. And when she opened her eyes, she actually said it out, what we would ask her to say out. And she said it out loud and she said, nobody knew about this. I lived through life, decades of my life, nobody knowing what had happened to me. And as you're saying, that really was the reason why not just my marriage collapsed, but every other relationship I've had before with my kids, with my friends, with my parents was always bad. It was a very caustic relationship. I've always had relationship issues. And so, how would we know this, right? If the energies were not disseminating that information somehow, the wisdom to us. So that is a clear channel. So to be a clear channel, there are some things that have to happen, and we'll just touch upon it today. And as we keep moving along in future sessions, we'll talk more about how to really, really, really get a closer feel to it and what needs to happen. So we talked about how it's important for us to really, really be in service of humanity. That's the basic thing. If we can proclaim to ourselves in some capacity that I really want to be a conduit so that I can not just help myself, which of course it will help you as you're doing it, but also be of service to others. Because really, in life, there are no others, if you can see that. If you see from a spiritual perspective, you'll see that there really is nothing as others. The others are really manifestations of you, of me. So whoever comes in our life, they're always for our spiritual growth in some way or the other. If you meet a friend and you don't talk to that friend for 30, 40 years, and all of a sudden the person crops up back in your life, there's a reason why. Everything that happens, there's always a reason. Sometimes it appears like it's something that's happening just on its own, coincidence. There are no coincidences. That's something I've learned from my own life. There are no coincidences. Everybody comes in your life for a reason. It's for your soul's highest growth. And so what happens when we do become very serious in this is that our own life gets better. We feel more grounded. Really, we actually feel grounded. We feel more stable. We feel more aligned. We feel more like in the flow. And answers come to us quickly. If we find ourselves in a conundrum somewhere, it just shows up and you listen to it more. You become more, because of the trust and the faith you've already instilled in yourself now, that it starts to flow in more easily. In the flow, letting go. All of this is so important. It's the basic space, that the basic realm that we want to be in before we can deepen this ability.
and you've worked with hundreds or thousands of people over the years, and is that what you experience, that they too are growing that ability to channel?
Absolutely. Every session with each client, or we do these group sessions as well on Fridays and Saturdays. This we the energies had termed it Global Zoom Healing Circle. This is something that came about during COVID time, and it's still running even today. And it's been wonderful because it initiates everybody into this work. And everybody will be able to channel. And the more we do this, the more we let go, the more we are, shedding our traumas, and we're shedding those old narratives. It's very easy to get caught up in those old narratives and just be focused on it. And mind takes us there time and time again. And we're just like playing these broken records repeatedly. And for us, the energies keep telling us, Monica, we've got to help everybody here. Pause that thinking pattern. Pause so we can pivot them in the direction that they need to go. And everybody can do this, right? Everybody. I know this for a fact that 10, 15 years from now, the entire Earth, our planet will be channeling. Everybody will be doing it. It's not going to just be a fad. It's the way that we're moving toward. It has to happen. So the sooner you can jump on the bandwagon, the better it is for everybody. It is.
We talk in the healing space, so for you and I, it's very normal conversation, but it does seem to be creeping into some conversations. Gosh, years ago, this would have never even surfaced, right? But I think
Yes.
people are very curious is what I am finding, and it's exciting.
It is exciting. It is absolutely imperative that we all sort of go into it with both our eyes open and our feet
Mhm.
planted in. I think it's a must. Yes, absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a reason that this is happening right now, that you feel so strongly pulled to share this, in a greater platform?
Definitely. Yeah. It is definitely something that is just we all have to have greater faith, greater trust, greater belief that there is some energy that binds us all. It connects us all. We've known about auras for, eons, right? We already know about that. That is a part of the energy, but there's a greater energy. There's an umbrella energy that ties us all together, that keeps us in this space. Right now, we're seeing a lot in our world, whether you're in the US or elsewhere. There's so much of negativities that are coming out, in the world. Too much of hatred, too much of anger, much of envy, jealousy, and that stimulates a lot of, um, violence of all sorts. And so, as we're feeling this, as a lot of people are empaths and they sense it more, but more and more people are becoming sensitive. It's not like you're experiencing something, if you're not experiencing it in your immediate life, in your immediate country, even, you're experiencing it vicariously because some other country is experiencing a war or something. It's no more than you can just sit here and say, okay, it's happening there. It's not affecting me. So I can be fine. But that is coming from a collective consciousness. And that collective consciousness is affecting and impacting everybody, even if it may not be directly impacting us. It's impacting us in some way through these energies. It's coming to us. And it may show up in a personal situation. It may show up in a relationship that is impacting you. May not be directly impacting you, of course. Grenades are going off or, some big war is happening. You won't feel it directly impacting you, but it will impact you in some other way, emotionally, mentally, and definitely spiritually. So it's important now. The more we are sinking in, the more we're connecting to one another on a plane that is non physical. That's the non physical space, the non physical realm. It's important for us to do this because the greater, the stronger that we are, the more grounded we are, the more we impact and affect others because we are all connected. There is no doubting that. And that's something I understood that from my near death experience of being out of the body, that everything is connected. Humanity is connected. All of us are interconnected because we're all souls. All of these living beings have souls that are binding us. But even plants
I know.
have souls. We may not know about them, but they do. Animals do. And stones have, stones and rocks. And there's some energy that binds everybody, everything. And
Mhm.
so I think why is it important right now is because it is something that the more we are able to channel, the more we're able to improve our lives. Definitely, it improves our lives because we see life as a blessing, no matter what it is, even if you're dealing with health issues. Life is a blessing. You're here alive, aren't you? You wake up in the morning, you see the sun, you're alive, you're breathing. It's a blessing. Yeah.
And, I feel like more and more people are moving to this more telepathic sense of one another. Definitely in my family, there are those that have that. So I was on a trip earlier this year and I called home. I called my sister. She said, "How was going?" I was like, "They're not telepathic. It's a lot of talking." Because when you're with people and you don't have to say as much because they already know, right? I've noticed when there are times where I feel like the communication is more difficult,
Mhm.
and it could be a little easier. I wanted to continue these conversations so people have a greater understanding of this work.
Yes,
I would go
absolutely.
a little deeper.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely would love to do that. This one, we just wanted to sort of open up a space for greater understanding and more discussion within yourself even. Is this right for me? Should I be doing this? Why should I be doing this? And I think once you get to the place where you're ready, there are ways in which we can lead you into that. And so today, if it's possible, Wendy, I'd like to, if I can, do a very brief healing, a little one, where we can guide the those that are listening into the first steps, if they chose to listening to this episode and to dabble into it on their own. No one's there. But maybe if we can just lead them into a short, very brief meditation where they can learn to quiet their mind, get into a space where they are dipping into their heart more. And the initial aspects of how to know if they're channeling, we talked about it earlier, about how the mind softens, how the thoughts simply just go into the background. And then the initial stages of when the connection is just opened up. It's almost like there's a little bit of a like a drain pipe, if you will, that is in front of you, as if that space is there that is already closed up. But actually it is opened. It just closed up. It's like a door that opens and shuts at will, like that. And so if we can tap into that space where we can help just by channeling right now, bringing that light in to them, helping it open somewhat more, that may guide them in the future as they're deepening that experience, as the diameter starts to widen, more light comes in, more energies come in, more connection is deepened. And then from that, as we have the next episode and the next one, they will be able to really, really slip their feet into the shoes and feel like maybe it's a little bit of a bite here. Maybe I need to put a band-aid here. Maybe not. Maybe I should try to walk at home and feel how the shoe fits in, and then venture out onto the roads and all that. So that kind of initial entry point, if it's okay, I'd like to give that entry point for our audience.
Please, let's do it.
Okay? All right. Awesome. All right. So you are going to be, this is going to be a little bit different. You're going to be seated on a chair, and your back is going to be erect. Okay, as erect as you can possibly make it. You want to have your feet touching the floor, if possible, without socks or without shoes. You want to make sure that your palms are resting on your thigh. And if your eyes are not closed yet, don't worry about closing it just yet. Bring your awareness to a place or a point on a wall, or on a wall if there's a wall in front of you. You're seated in a room someplace. Just bring your awareness into that zone. Any place doesn't matter, no right or wrong. Just bring your awareness there and zone in as if you are looking at that space, just breathing naturally and normally. You have not changed the breathing just yet. You just feel that space, zoning into it. And as you zone into it, your mind is also softening. You still might have some thoughts that pierce in, something you've been thinking about for a while, a thought that has been ruminating or anxiously awaiting something, or sending you a checklist of things that have to be done today or tomorrow or some other day. Just allow your awareness to drift away from the mind as if you are deliberately making that transition and fully focusing on that spot on the wall. Now, as you're looking at that particular spot, you may see a color that is suddenly visible to you in that space. And if your eyes are shutting down, that's perfectly fine. Softly close your eyes, and with your eyes closed, as if you still have that attention to that spot on a wall, you're seeing a color that is beautiful, soft, as if you can see the textures on that wall. Textures are as if they're splitting apart and they're coming together like pixels, like a vortex of energy. You're just indulging in this beautiful space and you're allowing yourself to get pulled in to this vortex of energy. Your mind is still playing along on the sides, not as loud as before, still very much there, but slowly diverging. It's going a little away from your space as if there is sound, but it feels like the sound is in the background. The noises of the mind and the thinking patterns, they're still there, but they're blending into the background. They're just moving away. All right, now you're going to change your breathing. You're asked to change your breathing into a diaphragmatic breathing where you're using your diaphragm muscle to breathe. So you take a slow inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Take another slow, deep inhale, exhale. So you're asked to breathe this way about 10 times. Slowly inhale, exhale, slowly inhale, exhale. Ah. Okay, take another slow, deep breath in, exhale. So as you're breathing in, now we're channeling this divine energy that is coming to us, coming through this body, this conduit that is here, and is moving into your space. It's going to move into your space as if it's speeding up this process. So your breathing is ongoing. You're still breathing it 10 times. Continue breathing. Don't stop the breathing. And the awareness is still focused on that place in the wall where there is a beautiful color that appears, bright blue light. Some of you may see violet light. And of course, it's fusing. It's fusing with something else, as if those little pixelated dots, as dots are coming together, converging, and then they're diverging, coming together. It's like this vortex of energy that keeps coming. And your awareness is going into that space and it's just increasing and shrinking, as if it's expanding and contracting. Just feel that expansion and feel that contraction. Expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. It's happening unknowingly. You're not doing it. You're not making it happen. This is the energy that comes through that is making it happen for you. You are letting go. You are allowing this process to take effect in you. And the color, as it appears to be, and you see the texture of it as well, the color begins to expand beyond that one space, beyond that one little dot that you were feeling that connection to, as if in each inhalation and exhalation, that dot begins to widen. It's widening, it's widening, it's widening. It's filling the entire space. The wall is filled with this color. Perhaps the colors are different. Perhaps they're intermingling colors. And yes, they're expanding, expanding, expanding. It's going beyond that whole wall. It's flowing into the second wall and the third wall and the fourth wall. All four walls that are filled with this beautiful color, or the mixing of the two colors or three colors. It doesn't matter. It's all mixing together. So now, as you feel that expansion, it's also flowing into the floor where you are, your floor, where you feel your feet on it. That energy is filling the bottom part of your foot. The whole floor is filled with this beautiful color, this beautiful texture. And as it comes closer and closer to your feet, you feel a tingling sensation, as if you feel pinpricks. Pinpricks are there in your feet. This is no ordinary energy. These are divine energies that we're sending to you. You're connecting to it as well. So it's now shifted from beyond just a color, as you were feeling before. There is life to it. There is light to it. There is love in it. There's light, there's love. And all of these energies are coming together and fueling you as if there's a stimulation that is happening in you. From the arch of the feet, you feel these stimulated energies coming inward, circulating in the bottom of your feet, and they're rising up. And you can feel it rising up as if it's parallel to the spinal column. Noticing coming it from your feet, both sides, left and right side, and we're vertically creating this vertical line in front of your body, maybe 2 feet in front of your body. Feeling this energy coming right up. All the way up, it goes up, up, up. It goes beyond your scalp. If you were taking a horizontal plane on your scalp and letting it extend further out, It's going beyond that space, up above. So what's happening now is that there is this beautiful energy that is confined in this space that is in front of you. It has been shut down for a long, long time, not just from this lifetime, but many, many lifetimes before. We haven't been so open minded as we are tending to be in this lifetime. We are becoming more opened, opening up more to the divine light. We're opening up more to the presence. We're opening up more to our own souls that exist within us. We're opening up more to this understanding that beyond just making money, beyond just living life day to day, we're shifting from being COOs to CEOs. We're shifting from being just operational things that are happening day to day to us becoming more like we are looking at a wider spectrum of our life, not just in minutia, but looking at life from a grander picture, grander space, seeing life in a grander way, opening up to the possibilities, shifting away from how our mind had perceived life to be, where there is limitation and more limitation. We're shifting out of that focus. We're shifting out of that old narrative and jumping into the space where finite is actually infinite. We live in this infinite world, in an abundant world, and there's an expansion of everything. And once we connect to that expansion of connection to the greater awareness, the more self-aware we become, the wider our space becomes. The wider the space becomes, just like this energy, when we focused on one spot on the wall. And as we kept channeling this energy, divine light kept bringing this energy into it. It began to grow bigger. Through our breath, we were able to stimulate that growth, to open it up furthermore, as if you are expanding. Your heart is expanding. Your heart is going beyond the physical contour of the body. It's spilling over and into the immediate surroundings. And so when you feel that expansion, you feel yourself relaxing more. You feel yourself more in the space of faith, not necessarily faith in the context of religion, but faith in the sense of there is an energy that exists that is connecting us to one another, connecting us with ourselves, and therefore connecting with the greater universe. And this is important for us at this stage right now, as the more we connect with it, the more we feel that grounding, deepening, the alignment. We feel as if world is moving fast at first, but then we can actually slow time down. Time does not exist in the way we have understood it to be and that we've been taught. Time exists completely differently, not linear. It exists. It just does. Time is not ticking. Every time we feel that world is moving super fast, we've got to achieve XYZ thing in a specific stipulated time. That is coming from your mind. So untrue. You are now getting ready to connect to the truth of life, truth of your existence. Who are you? Why are you here? All of these existential questions are very important at this point for everybody to ask, for everybody to feel and to experience. So we're enabling ourselves to experience the wisdom that is slowly awakening within us. And as it awakens more and more, the divine energies flow in and give us the information, the wisdom that we've been seeking all along. We're ready. Let us proclaim to the divine energies, we are ready, we're ready, we're ready to receive. We're sharing this excitement, we're diving into this excitement. We feel childlike, we feel this energy that is palpable because it's coming through us and it's opening us in ways we never dreamed about. We're letting those energies come in. So you may start to feel tingling sensations now in specific regions in the body. For example, in the palms of your hands and the extremities of your body, in the arch of the feet. Some people here are experiencing tingling in your temporal lobes. Maybe it feels like it's tightening. Those two areas are tightening there. The third eye region may also feel a little bit stiffened. It's mirroring what it feels in the temporal lobe. The mind feels threatened at this point. The mind is feeling threatened. But the more you're indulging in this experience, you let the mind do what it has to do in order to find its own survival mechanism. At this point, you're freeing yourself from that attachment, from that hold it has on you. And as you're diving into your heart, you feel yourself more expansive. It's expanded state of consciousness, altered state of consciousness where you feel more free. You're not bound by boundaries, not bound by um, anything that keeps you constrained. You seek freedom. You want it. You want the liberation. You want to be in this state. You're loving it. And as you feel this more, you feel the tingling sensations in your feet, in your toes, in the fingers, in the palm of your hands, and you also feel it in your scalp. You feel it in your third eye. You feel it in your temporal lobes. And this is enough for you to know that something is really happening beyond your conscious awareness because you've allowed it to be coming to you. Notice your hip, left side. You will notice your spinal column closer to L5, T12. You might feel something there, tightness. Suddenly the pain may intensify. And as we connect the energies to it, it's releasing, as if you're softening, your body softening. Shoulders are relaxing, drooping down a little. Noticing the tension around your eyes, the muscles are also relaxing. Your jawline relaxed, everything is relaxing. Now you're asked to take 10 more deep breaths. Anything that is stale and old that you don't need anymore. Old ways of thinking, feeling, being, sensing. Old experiences that don't matter much anymore. Childhood traumas that you've been through. Experiences that have not served you well. This is the point at which you are letting go. If you feel sometimes that you are like a victim, things have happened to you that you don't feel good about, or maybe you have indulged in behaviors or thinking patterns that have been damaging. This is the moment divine light is coming forward and taking that load away from you as if you don't have to carry it anymore. It is shifting, it is moving. You may feel as if it's shifting, moving, because all of a sudden you feel something in your solar plexus, in your sacrum, and in the base of your spine, in your root, that begins to feel very light, relaxed, balanced. Loving energy is flowing into you as well. Unconditional love is flowing into you as well, and it is softening you, softening all the rigid patterns of thinking, feeling, being, sensing, resistance that was part of you recently. That resistance is simply dissolving as well. Letting go, letting go, letting go. We are ready. We are ready. We're ready. So as we are now in that moment where we are fully surrendering, we feel that surrendering. Now pay attention to the tingles that you feel in your palms, in your fingers. Pay attention now to what you're sensing. Maybe a image that shows up for you all of a sudden. Perhaps a appears like a thought, but it may not be a thought. Just pops in and it leaves you. It's like a teaser. It comes and it goes. You may see a number, a specific number that shows up. Don't worry about what it is at this point. Just simply become aware of it. Become aware of its possibilities. Become aware that you are opening up. And when you open up now, when you go on with the rest of the day today, you may begin to see symbols, repetitive numbers that appear either on your cell phone or on a clock or your car radio clock or on a license plate. You may see messages that come through on a billboard, through a friend's message, text, somebody that you're close to. You'll begin to be more open-minded, open-hearted in what is happening outside of you, what is happening within you. Just be more open. You're feeling yourself more open, more more settled, more open. So we thank the divine energies so much now for their guidance today, for leading us into where we all are destined to going into. Our bodies are relaxing. We want to stay in a relaxed state. We want to be more fun, be more childlike, explore more, stay curious, stay curious. When our heart is opened up now, we feel a greater connection to others, feel a greater connection within. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Divine. Thank you, Divine, for your guidance, for your support, for your charge to us today. Thank you. You can relax your body fully. Give a good exhale. Good. And you can start to wriggle your fingers, and you will continue to feel some tingling sensations even after this work ends. Throughout the rest of the day, you may feel the tingles in your feet. You may feel the tingles in your scalp, in the frontal lobe, side temporal lobes. You may feel some vibration. Something has opened up in your spinal column also. Feels different. You may feel more open. You may just feel more relaxed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now you can open your eyes and just, if you need to, just move your fingers, roll your toes inward. If you feel the need to stretch your arms, do so gently.
Was so beautiful, Monica. Thank you to you. Thank you to the energy.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
I did not close my eyes. I felt like I might fall asleep, and I did not want to do that on camera. That does happen from time to time, doesn't it?
It does. Very normal. And those of you who are listening, the listeners out there, if you do fall asleep, it's perfectly fine. It's how you're receiving those energies, how your mind is quieting down, and you're just surrendering and letting go. So, if that happens and you want to share that information with Monica, please do so. We will leave our email address here and would love to hear from everybody. Thank you.
It just reminds me so much of working with you in the beginning, and I would love to share my experiences that came, from the meditation and soon after. It was very exciting.
So it's fun, isn't it? When you are doing this for the very first time, it's so much fun. You see colors and textures and images, and there's so much of activity. Everybody says how much they love being in a channeled experience, even though I'm the one that is connecting to the divine energies and fueling it, fueling you all. There's some fun to it, and it just helps people open up more. And, we're in it all the time. And we urge you all, we, the energies, and I urge you all to stay in the state the rest of today if you can. And if you did, would love to hear from you, see how it goes.
Or if those of you who are listening on the replay, please like the video, but drop us some comments about the meditation. We will follow up and read all of those. So yes, please connect with us. This is what this platform is for.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wendy, for all of your amazing work on this, on the podcast, but also what you're doing with your foundation and all the many lives that you are touching as well. So
Like we were talking about, it's being of service, and this meditation and the work I've done with you has definitely opened that up for me. So thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk again soon.
Yes. Looking forward to the next time. Thank you for having me as a guest again. Thank you.